How the fuck is it month 3 already? They don't even have names anymore. They're all just numbers. They go
Dude,
by fast.
dude, like, have kids and it goes even quicker.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Look, I
Look,
know they're wonderful and fulfilling and full of love, and it's beautiful to see them fucking flower and bloom into the beautiful human beings that they're gonna be one day, but they are also expensive. They're loud. I'm already loud, and I do not wanna be responsible right now.
look, I've spent at least 2 nights a week the last 3 weeks at an elementary school after 5 o'clock because it's, "Oh, hey, spring dance," and then it's the 2nd grade showcase, and then it's the kindergarten showcase, and tonight's supposed to be, STEAM night, and I'm like, nope, done, done. I'm over this. We're staying home tonight."
What in the fuck all is STEAM night at an elementary school? Because I'm already fucking not digging it.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, STEAM is an acronym for science, technology,
You had me
engineering.
worried for a second there. I thought they were trying to get all you guys into sauna together, and I was like, that doesn't seem appropriate.
I mean, they're just trying to take a page out of Hitler's book.
No, no, not going there. Fucking hard
So,
line. Nope.
yeah, so they're supposed to be doing this STEAM night, and I'm like, I've seen my kids with technology. They're not great. Now, I
So,
also don't do we don't do tablets. Like,
mm,
they have them, but they only work in a power outage or at the airport.
yeah, just like Santa's real, right?
Yeah, so yeah, that was supposed to be tonight. That's not happening. I'm just nope, no way. We're doing way too many things. Plus, last night was piano lesson night for both kids. So yeah,
So the thing I didn't like about piano was that you really had to read sheet music.
yes.
Love everything about music. I fucking hate reading sheet music. To me, I just, bleh, it's gross.
Yeah, so because I'm standing there for all of their lessons, I've now learned how to read sheet music and I do not enjoy it. I will say it's fun to actually just like sit and play, or if you go on like YouTube and you look up easy piano and then like type a song in, like I learned In the End by Linkin Park,
So you're
and
trying to
that's
get
fun to
pianist.
play.
You
But
want to
I
be.
literally just do the 1 through 5, like with
Mm,
tape on the keys, and then the actual notes starting with C. So I'm like, all right, as long as I can find C, I'm good.
yeah. And that's the other thing too, is also like just the layout of it, learning a new, fucking blah, fucking blah. At least with like guitar and stuff, like you have shapes and progressions and stuff. And it's like, oh, I can go like a 1 3 5, and I know it's gonna be fine. And da da da. Like with guitar, you got to play a little bit different with the beat, the high B string. But fucking everybody else is like, fuck this. What are you guys talking about? I don't know if you guys noticed. Kaylee's not here today.
She
She said, fuck
had
y'all.
she had to go buy a blimp today. That's where she's at.
A
Blimp
blimpy stout.
ownership is not for the weak.
Yeah, that's not true at all. Just feeling a little under the weather. And we, as wonderful friends, said, fuck that, suck it up, do the podcast anyways. And she told us to go fuck ourselves.
She said we're too bald.
Yeah, that's really what it was. Two bald guys is like just two bald guys. I don't
We we
Probably
kind of
not a
look
good
like a
look.
pair of danglies right now. Like we're just sitting here on screen.
I always would like to rather have like a boob head than like a ball head. It's like the dude from Little Nicky, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I just feel like one of those is visually appealing and the other is absolutely not.
That was such a criminally underrated movie for so long.
I feel like it's now become a cult classic, but yeah. Um, just so many great one-liners and just overall fucking nonsensical shit in that movie.
Yeah.
Some of it didn't hit, but I think it used to hit when I was more teenager. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting old and I love it. I was looking at some, and maybe you'll kind of feel me on this one. A lot of people that are like doing like and guys too, right? It's not necessarily gender specific at this point, but like that are doing the Botox and all the anti-aging stuff and the injections and whatnot. I was like, nah, man, I want to look old as fuck. Like I am cool with it. I can't wait to look old so that people just look at me and they're like, nah, he ain't gonna put up with this bullshit.
Well, you get old and there's like a certain level of cuteness. It's kind of like a Shar with all the wrinkles and everything. And it allows you to get away with saying things like I think about my father-in-law. One of his last trips to Florida before the Alzheimer's set in, we had gone to Lowe's and I was working on a project. I was enclosing like a pass-through
Well, don't
interior
say
like
nothing I'm gonna have to edit
thing.
out now.
I could say the B word, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
But
so that's it. Yeah.
butthole.
So we go to Lowe's and we get some 2x4s, we get some sheet of drywall, some mud, some tape, etc. We're just enclosing like one of those random interior pass-throughs. So we get to the checkout, and as we're checking out, my father-in-law goes, "Oh, here, scan my Lowe's card." Well, he's a Vietnam veteran. So he also gets like 10% off or whatever at Lowe's or 5% or something. And the woman stops, looks at him and goes, "Are you guys doing some type of a wall?" And I look at her and I go, "What does our project matter right now? We're just trying to check out." She goes, "Well, clearly based on his age, he's not the one building a wall, and because he has a military discount, his discount is only applied to projects that he's doing, not projects that his son is doing." I
Yeah.
go, "You don't know whether or not he lives with me, first of all. Second of all, it's
He's gonna
10%
hold
off."
that fucking drywall up while I fucking screw it in.
I was like,
Okay?
It's 10% off. I'm not really worried about being hung up on this." My father-in-law just swipes his card while she's still talking to me to pay for it, and he looks at her and goes, "How you like me now, bitch?"
Yeah.
70-something-year-old man, just, "How you like me now, bitch?"
I don't think I'm gonna be that old guy. Um, but yeah, I'm a I just want people to fucking leave me alone. Like I want to be the one that like I don't have enough of a yard. Like obviously my fucking little plot of land, quote unquote, is quite small. I live in one of those fucking we just put them up in Florida, fucking housing farms, whatever you want to call it. But I want to yell, people get off my fucking front yard. Get out of here, you kids. They're
"Get
like
off my
old man
lawn."
Bogrand's fucking crazy. Like, ah,
You
that's what
gotta
I
do
want.
the Clint Eastwood, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, I don't want to have that voice. I don't want to be that raspy. I'm
I
probably
do. I hope
yeah.
I get full on raspy the older I get. I wanna sound like a garbage disposal with rocks in it.
I think we would be there already, or at least a lot closer if we were gonna be there.
Well, time to
But
start smoking, I guess.
hey, eh, it kind of sucks because Kaylee has a pretty solid home gym too. But we're gonna talk about home gyms today. Um, and obviously I named it Homie's Gym because that's close enough. And if you don't like that, well, I don't know what to tell you. We don't have enough people listening to us for me to say go fuck off, but we might not be for you. Um, I re- I'm always amazed, like of the people who are actually listening to us, because every once in a while they'll make a comment or they'll message me or something. I was like, "You be listening to this? You be listening to my dumbass?" And they're like, "Yeah, we love it." I was like, "Oh, cool. Tell your friends, share it,
People
like."
like dumb things. Who would have thought? Well, yeah, that's right. Adult Swim's a thing.
Well, I think a lot of it is, we obviously still have a lot of people in the bodybuilding realm associated with us, and obviously we're still coaching people doing those things, and I think quite often a lot of people who are in the bodybuilding realm, they're just much love, but some of y'all are fucking boring. Like, there's no other stuff going on. Power to you if that's all you care about, but I feel like a lot of other people have other interests and they like a little bit of variety, the spice of life, if you will. And I also think that there's this typical like overview of bodybuilding where it's so fucking fake on the surface. And so having people that are, I think, a little bit more forthcoming about what they're willing to say and how they're willing to say it and that kind of stuff, I just think it resonates with a lot of people.
It's a breath of fresh air, and I like how I like the irony also of you saying spice of life, and we're talking about the stereotype of a bodybuilder is plain boiled chicken with white rice and broccoli.
I never got that. Who? Why? Like,
Dude,
the whole sodium's the devil thing is so stupid to me. Like, do you not know how muscles work? We need it for muscles.
I remember the well, it was like $10 fitness or Fit for 10 or something in Brandon, and walking in there and just seeing
Was it the one at the
all the
mall?
big
They had one of it at the mall too.
for a little bit, yeah, it was very short-lived, but their main one was on Providence and Lumsden.
Yeah. Yeah, I dated a girl that went there for a little while.
Dude, that was
Long
like
time ago.
the stereotype of everything wrong with, like, bodybuilding in terms of a gym, like, you waited, you had to get in line to get a set in on anything, and the equipment was all old and nothing there wasn't a piece of equipment that didn't have duct tape on it, wasn't ripped, wasn't torn. You go into the bathroom and literally it's needles and syringes sitting in the trash can, vials of test, vials of Tren. I mean, you name it, you could get it there.
Woof. Yeah. So kind of
But
like a home gym for some people, I guess.
well, I mean,
Maybe sans drugs, more
yeah,
focus on the duct tape.
yeah, duct tape. I mean, I have that in my garage with my home gym. But yeah, like literally every person there, you'd see them after they're done with their workout, break out the Tupperware, and it's just fucking tan, plain boiled chicken breast, white rice, broccoli, like that's it. And they'd
I
have like
had chicken
two or
and
three of
rice.
them.
So I did have chicken and rice for lunch. However, my chicken is seasoned. I cook it on the pellet grill, and I put fucking barbecue sauce on it. But it's really just because I was being lazy. When that's really what it came down to. I think a lot of people don't recognize that bodybuilders are very lazy, so convenience is key. And it's not like we normally think of lazy in a bad way. Like it's lazy in a good way because it makes it very easy to replicate and stay
Efficient.
consistent with.
Efficiency.
Yeah. Um, but so why are we talking about home gyms? Because I got a home gym for me and my wife and I.
Yay! Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah. Well, I just there are some days where I don't feel like spending 20 to 30 minutes to drive to the gym and back each way, then possibly wait on equipment when I could do stuff at home. So I spent a little bit more. I got us like a full functional trainer. It also like doubles as a rack and stuff, but I'm not going to be doing squats or barbell exercises.
Does yours
Nor
also have the Smith machine built in?
it doesn't.
Okay.
Um, so we had the option for that one, but it was just because we went to Valor Fitness and we wanted to keep it like I liked the idea of keeping it local for where my money was going. So they just had the fixed position Smith machine. Um, I don't like that. It doesn't fit my biomechanics super well. And it was closer to the back. So it wasn't like it had a ton of room in it either for a lot of things I would use for it. So for some people, it might have sufficed. I was like, nah. They do also have like the bars that you can connect to each cable. So we got the nicer one. They did give us a good deal on it. We actually got a discount because Jill's a nursing student. So that was awesome.
Nice.
um, but it's got like the high pulleys, so it's got a lat pull down seat and lat pull downs and all that kind of stuff. It's got the foot plate for like low rows and stuff, so you can do those and sit on your butt. And then obviously all the normal cable stuff that you can do. What I thought was the coolest thing about it is it doesn't have like a normal pull up bar. It has two handles that rotate all the way around, like free
Oh,
rotate, and then they lock in at different widths. So literally, you can just do any pull up variation that you want.
that's pretty sweet, man.
That was what I was most excited about it for. It was just the pull ups. But I can do any upper body workout with that.
Yeah.
Lower body, I could probably make something work. I can get over rig it and do some single leg extension on the cables using the lat pull down
Prep
seat.
ups.
You can do like belly down hamstring curls for lying hamstring curls with it and a cuff. You can use them and do like step ups and any of that kind of stuff, lunges. So it's just a little bit different because obviously with the cable system, you're going to be loading from the bottom. So you got to get under the bar at the bottom of it and then come up with load instead of like pulling off the rack, that kind of stuff. Um,
I would be curious once you've got it, like, are you having to assemble it yourself or did
I already got it fucking put together, man. I finished it today.
nice.
I
Dude,
even put the little stickers for you, the weight plates on there. Boop, boop.
oh, looky
I,
good at you.
I did fuck up one thing. So the adjustable pulleys, I put them on upside down. So I just flipped the actual wheels on it, but you can tell it's upside down because the selectors, the pins are on the outside. I guess they're supposed to be on the inside. We know it doesn't really make a difference. But the real giveaway is the warnings are on those. So they're just upside down. So I need to go back, pull them off and put them right side up.
Nah, just leave them as is.
Yeah.
You might be able to it's not that hard to rig up for a functional trainer, a belt squat.
So I saw those, but then I have to buy plates. Like I have to buy individual weight plates to do that with, right? When I go
What do your stacks go up to?
200 each,
I mean,
1 to 1 for the top pulleys, 2 to 1 for the bottom pulleys for the
okay,
adjustables.
okay, okay.
Um, but they feel pretty fucking similar to me, if I'm being honest. Although I haven't really gotten into heavy weights on it yet. I just kind of fucked around with like 20 pounds on it real quick.
I noticed more like single joint movements. If if you were to go to do a bicep curl with 50 pounds on there versus picking up a 50-pound dumbbell, like you'll feel the difference of that
Right.
lower cable 100%. Or like like if you're trying to do like a cable kickback or like a hip abduction with it, oh, a
Oh, yeah.
thousand
Oh,
percent.
trust me, I'm gonna be in there doing that because that's fucking content.
You gotta build that donk, man.
Yo, dude, this cake is not a lie. So,
Them
like,
hips don't lie.
what I've said it before, I'll say it again. The ladies love a man with cake. They
Oh
love
my
a
god,
lady with
I just missed
everybody loves
your "the cake was a lie" reference. I can't believe I didn't pick up on that.
yeah, yeah. But this
Damn.
cake, not. So for me, it's more like there's convenience factor for it. Am I gonna do legs there? Probably not. That's probably the one thing that I'll make sure that I go to the gym for because my gym does have a really nice belt squat and the leg presses and that kind of stuff. Now, there are also a ton of things that you can get for something like a functional trainer, which is obviously a bigger initial investment. You could go the other way with it, get dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells, that kind of thing. A set of adjustable dumbbells is going to cost you probably at least $600 to go up to, 50, 55 pounds. More if you want higher. Then you got to buy a bench. You can at least, but a lot of that stuff you can get used, right? So you can
That's
save money there.
that's my big key, honestly, is most of the time home gym equipment has only been used as basically clothes hangers.
Oh, 100%. A lot of people will get a home gyms and stuff and they just never use it. The
So
problem
I
for me with that is that a lot of time when that's the issue, the stuff is normally on the lower quality side, which for some things is fine, but for other things, I stop twice, right?
yeah,
So if it's weight plates, it probably
absolutely.
doesn't matter.
Wait, so that's what I always go to is if it's a simple basic piece of equipment, weight is weight. Like you're not going to be able to tell if your plates are calibrated. And if you were to just buy some cheap cast iron plates off of like Walmart or Amazon or order from wherever, even if they're off by like 0.2 pounds, you're not feeling that difference. And if
Quote
it's
unquote
used or
cheap.
new, right. Well, if you so that's the other thing is there are people that have like AI bots now, like for the garage gym
Oh
community
yeah.
on Facebook and Reddit. They have bots that just search for Walmart and Amazon like uh-ohs on their pricing. Cause I remember I bought like a 380-pound set or 360-pound set of weights for like $150.
So
And
that's
sure enough, it
that is
arrived.
seriously cheap because normally you're spending $1 per pound on plates. and anywhere from $1 to $2 a pound on dumbbells.
and about $1.50 a pound for bumpers. And even with my bumpers, so I got those. They were Rogue bumper plates, which are really good quality. I still managed to find those on Facebook Marketplace for I think it was like 75 cents a pound, 80 cents a pound. So if you look and if you're going for basic stuff, stuff that it can't really you can't really go wrong with it. Like a 20-pound dumbbell is a 20-pound dumbbell. A 25-pound plate's a 25-pound plate, right? Those
So
things go used if you have to and if you can.
100%. I would say this is where it matters, like, how much room do you have? Because another big part of it for us was we don't have a ton of extra room in the garage. I like parking my car in the garage. That car, I fucking love that car. Like, I'm sorry, dude, not sorry. So, we also have an HOA, so our cans have to stay in the garage or out of sight. So
Oh,
there's
that's
not a
always
ton
fun.
of extra room in there, right? But you, like, especially at your last house, you had an entire fucking building that you could devote to your home gym.
Right.
So this is where, like, I think you need to be conscientious of cost versus what's realistic. Because for us, it's about what can we have that can do a lot of stuff that takes up the least amount of room possible. So
That's such a clutch key is knowing your space because I see all the time people will be like, "Hey, I bought this, kind of like a similar rig to what you've got." And then, uh-oh, I didn't think about it. I only have 8-foot ceilings. And now that same pull up, guess what you can't do?
So you remember with the old studio when they had bought all that equipment and they just bought like a half a shipping container from China
Yep.
of some whatever, and they went to they put the entire trainer together and then realized that they didn't have the clearance to flip it up. So then they had to take it all of apart, put it together standing up, and put it back in. What a
Oh,
pain in the
man.
dick. What a pain.
Yeah.
I knew better. Thank God for their mistake because I learned from it. But
I
oh, I
I
would have been
only
pissed.
I made that mistake one time, but remember I had the Elite FTS rack from the Crunches, which
Which was so nice, dude, like, they were selling for what, like, $300? So something
300 bucks.
crazy, like, full racks, pins for weight storage, like,
I had the dip
solid Elite FTS racks.
I had the dip attachments. They included a landmine attachment on mine. They also did the multi-grip pull-up bar, and because it was
That's
three.
cheap. I don't think people recognize how expensive that shit can be. Like, a dip bar attachment can be, like, $300
Yeah.
just on itself, in addition to your rack or to your whatever, like, it adds
The
up.
multi-grip pull-up option at the time was like another 4 or $500, and that entire rack and the configuration that they sold it to me for $300, if I would have gone to Elite FTS, the reason why it's like, "Holy crap, Elite FTS," is because the sides are welded. It's not screws and nuts and bolts, it's welded, and it's a thick, solid weld. It's American made, it's 3 by 3, it's high gauge steel. The whole spacing is phenomenal. You've got closer together towards the bottom. It starts to get up to 1-inch spacing on the top of it. Phenomenal rack. Love that rack. Best rack of my life, right?
Not the best rack of my life, but it's a good one. I married the best one.
So I paid $300 for it. And the only thing I didn't think of was in the garage 2, 3 houses ago, whatever, whenever I first got it, I had to take the multi-grip bar and I had to invert. I had to flip it upside down
Yeah.
because otherwise it wouldn't like it would clear the ceiling, but my head would get like right above the brows, like an inch or two above the brows. That's all I could go. So I had to get creative. And that's one of the biggest pros for me about a home gym is the flexibility to just be creative and modify your own crap like the gym pins where you can add on regular weight to your stacks. Okay, I don't know if
Oh,
you know
yeah.
about this. Well,
Yeah.
I
Those are
I
great.
I would just put a loading pin on the top of one and just add weight that way. I did that for years, and then they came out with the gym pin, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch, I could have been selling these for $100 a piece."
I've had a couple ideas for gym equipment that, like, I didn't do anything with, and now I just see them in stores. I was like, "Nah, oh well,
Yeah.
fucking whatever."
Now, besides knowing your space, the other big thing is knowing what is your program or what are you training for if you're training for something specific. Because like if someone says, "Hey, I'm training for powerlifting meet," and they buy a functional trainer as their first piece of equipment, that was a dumb purchase.
Whoops. I wouldn't say it's a dumb purchase, but it's not going to help you with your powerlifting meet. It's not. It's. But my functional trainer also doubles. It has J hooks. It has spotter arms. So I absolutely can use it as a full rack if I wanted to. I don't want to buy an Olympic barbell. I've given away a deadlift bar. I've given away a safety squat bar in the past. I don't want to buy new ones, and then also have to buy all of the plates to go along with that so that I can use. Plus, like, the functional trainer fits. A barbell is gonna be wider than that. That's kind of pushing it. We could do it, but then I don't have to buy gym flooring for a functional trainer because no weight is going to get dropped on the floor. But as soon as I have free weights and plates, I need some semblance of gym flooring in there in case something drops and could
You
damage the concrete.
make sure you do horse stall mats whenever you do that.
Yeah, I know that you just get them from Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
Uh, but or even, and that's depending on how heavy you wanna go. You can get away with lesser if you're keeping weights really low. Like, say, I'm only gonna go up to 40 pounds on this. You probably don't need heavy duty floor mats like stall mats.
Well, a lot of that recommendation for me comes from a cost per square foot. Because if you look at
100%.
like $60 for 4 by 6, so that's 24 square feet of flooring for like $60 after taxes per thing.
Yeah. Make sure you have
Um,
sunburn with the truck. Don't try and put it in your SUV. That's a pain in the ass.
Now here's a fun little thing. Um, if you have a business account,
But they'll deliver them. Yeah, I know.
they'll deliver them. Yep.
Yep.
So that then it's just a matter of, hey, I'm on the delivery schedule, and I think there is a minimum order size, but that's what I've done, especially for the 30 by 40, and I only had a third of that because I was like, I don't need the rest of this, but I had them deliver, and the guy in the box truck that delivered it, if looks could kill, I would have been dead. He hated. He was like, "This is the
Not happy
heaviest
with the
delivery I've had of my whole day." I was like, "I got it, bro. Here, water. Sit in your truck. Don't worry, daddy's here." And just
They are kind of a pain in the ass to move, though. If you roll them up and you can move them on your own, like as a roll, but otherwise you got to take two people. Look, it's by far the best thing that I found for flooring. For me, also though, especially being that we have a good amount of clearance, we probably have 6 to 12 inches of clearance on the top of the functional trainer to the top of the garage. I was like, fuck it, I'll cut a hole in the drywall in the ceiling if I need to. I don't give a shit.
remember
But
that's
I don't want to
basically
run more of that.
that's basically how I ran the AC in my other one
Yeah.
was I cut a hole. So fun fact, Florida gets hot. Um, I I
Yeah.
built a table out of 2 by 4s, and I bought one of those portable AC units, and I built the table up high enough that I could put the AC unit on top of it. Plus now it's blowing right at face level, so that felt amazing, but you have to vent it. So I cut a hole in the drywall in the ceiling, and I screwed a vent in there, and then I zip tied the duct into that, figuring, well, hot air going into hot attic, and attic has an exhaust fan that switches on once it reaches a certain temperature. I'm good for $2 of electricity a month.
Yeah, yeah. So
And then I drained it into an old whiskey bottle.
yeah, so I think when you have more space, the used stuff normally reigns supreme because for you, you have the space to have a specific extra machine for like leg extension, leg curls, right? And you have the extra space for more plates or full sets of dumbbells, or even maybe a specific, like, I have a lat pull down because I have a normal rack, right? Like that kind of thing. Not me, but example. So, oh, I have a rack, I have my barbells and plates, but I really want to be able to do lat pull down. So I'm just going to get a lat pull down machine. I think there are a lot more space friendly and even sometimes cost friendly options for racks, especially like if you have plates. There's a bunch of plate loaded attachments that you can get with pulley systems to attach to the rack that you already have. You just have to make sure that it's going to match up with that. And so for me, the pro- here's what I'm experiencing right now. I want to get a good bench that I can use so that it's a little bit more my pressing. I don't have to stand and balance and do all the rest of shit. I can do whatever. Um, and I want one that has a leg extension leg curl on it. But I also want one to where that leg extension leg curl can be hooked up to the pulley and I can just use it with the cable so I don't have to buy. But those motherfuckers are expensive
I was gonna
because
say, someone
so
someone
expensive.
just came out with one not long ago, but it's like a $900 bench, I think.
So the bench itself is like 6 or 700, and then it's like another 3 or 400 for the add-on for the extension curl thing. Now, granted, it does a fuck ton of stuff, which is great because it gives you a lot more options, but you're paying for that. It's gonna cost you unless you can somehow find somebody that was serious enough to buy that really nice thing. They're just like, nah, fuck this, which is
Yeah,
pretty
but
uncommon.
with the secondhand market, it's either most of the time your benches are either just the super low quality crap or it's formerly commercial use. And
I have seen some people that are buying like hardcore benches. Like I saw one for 300 that's like a straight up powerlifting, like solid adjustable bench. And I was like, that's a really good deal. And it would suffice for the bench portion of it. I'm going to have to drive an hour and a half each way to get it. But it's like 200, $300 less than what I'd have to pay for it new. It's not for me though. I'm like, I want the long term. I want it to do all the shit that I want it to do.
yeah,
I'm fancy on this shit. Like, if I'm gonna spend the money on it, I want it to fucking have all the options of exactly what I want.
if you can be patient and you can buy into a system, that is another big recommendation. Iron Master, right? Like Iron Masters, if you buy into their ecosystem, there's so much interchangeability between the dumbbells, the plates, the bench, the attachments for the bench. I mean, it's fantastic. It's solid. But if you try to buy it all at one time, you're going to drop like 8 or
Well,
9 grand.
yeah. So we got out. Should I say the price? I felt like it was a pretty good deal. We got out under 3 grand for like all the attachments we bought from them, the entire system, the pulleys, all like everything out the door under 3,000. Um, because of the discount. Now, it probably would have been more expensive if we had bought it online because shipping is worked into that price. So because I was able to go pick it up in person, that saved me some cost. I also a lot of these companies will charge you extra, but will put it together for you. So if you're willing to put it together yourself, that will save you some costs on these larger pieces. But like it's not cheap. And so 100% I was like, this is probably our tax refund. I'm just hoping we're getting one. The last few years it's been pretty solid. It's like we're gonna plan that we're gonna have some tax refund, and let's go ahead and get it early. Uh, because for me also, like being a fitness person, now I can record in quiet in my garage. I don't have to be in the middle. My gym's out by a main road. It's a big EOS, so like if I don't want a ton of people all over me, I got to go out on the back patio and do it outside. If I go out on the back patio and do it outside, there's still a ton of noise and all the stuff, and there's noise coming from the main road, all the cars. I do it inside, there's a ton of noise. Oftentimes, especially if you're doing it to social media, the background noise for the music will get you knocked and it will take your videos down because it's done that to a ton of my old training videos with just that. So now I can just do stuff in the comfort of my own home and garage, not have to worry about being around other people, setting up all the shit in front of people and hoping they're not walking. Like that's a fuck ton too. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna double up on this for me to be a business thing also. So I'm writing that shit off.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Like I I loved having the home gym, so we're actually in the process now that we've moved and we're getting boxes out of the garage. Like the guys at the recycling center know me by name at this point because of how many trips I've taken in the last like week. We're now looking at our options for home gym, and I can't wait to be done with the 20-minute drives. I can't wait to be able to write that off on my taxes because business expense, hells yeah. Um, but
Shit, I wonder, can I use that as square footage too now as write-off for the home?
there's a maximum amount that you can write off. It
Interesting.
would probably now max you out.
I'm sure it would because we have my office that we write off for me. We have my wife's office that they write off for her. But I mean, any little extras I think are with. So for those of you in the fitness community that are like, oh yeah, I have an LLC or a business, like it may benefit you in that
Yeah.
aspect
Yeah.
to
So
some.
we're looking at a very, very similar functional trainer to what you've got. The one that we're looking at does have the Smith machine, but the Smith machine is in the front and it's got a
That would be
pretty good
better, I
amount of
think.
depth to it. The only thing that I wish I could do, and this was the benefit of living in the Tampa area, was being able to pop into Valor because when I bought my original rack from Valor that also had the lat pull down and the low row and you just plate loaded, I was like 10 plus years ago, but it was nice to be able to actually go and test that out. And same thing whenever I tested out their leg extension, leg curl combo. Um, gosh, I bought several things. I bought a vertical leg press from them that I actually really, really liked.
They have a super cheap one that's like $300. It's not gonna like it ain't gonna work for me. But like if you're staying lightweight and you're not really loading it up, it's probably fine. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But like the actual things, like not even the length of my foot.
Yeah,
I was like,
I had to
okay.
modify the foot plate on mine to be able to accommodate my foot because otherwise it was like, hey, I'm getting like as much heel on here as I can.
I do love me a vertical leg press though.
Yeah.
I can't
Dude,
go too heavy because it'll fuck up my low back because I don't keep it in place well enough with it. But I do love me a vertical leg press.
that it hits the top of the hamstring like nothing else.
Yeah, mine are angry lately, but yeah. So
So
that's the
we're
other thing, right? That we were talking about is when you have home gym, you have to be very, I think, aware and sometimes creative. And we deal with this because we program for people with home gyms all the time. So any of my clients that have a home gym, like some of them, they'll be like, I need my home gym set up, program for it, like on this one upper body day per week. And then the other days, I'm going to go to the gym and do that. Some of them, it's more, and that's all we work around. But like that also is going to have a big impact on what you do because, again, had I not had stomach surgery, I'd be fucking baller about squats and front squats and deadlifts and all the rest of the shit. And I wouldn't, cool, I can get a lot done with that stuff. But since I've had stomach surgery, I am a bit more aware of going heavy and having to do movements where I have to valve and create that intra abdominal pressure in any kind of large way. Little bits, fine, not the end of the world, but I'm not trying to fuck up my surgery, right? If I had, like I said, anybody with a barbell and squat rack and like they're healthy enough and they're good, we can use squats and front squats and a whole bunch of other things, right?
lunges. Yeah.
But if you have a functional trainer and that's all you have, well, can you do squats? Maybe, but you're gonna have to get the bar thing for it, and you're gonna be starting from the bottom of the rep. Like you can't start from the top of the rep on that movement, right? Because you're not pulling weight down with you. So it is going to be a big difference for a lot of people in how much weight they can safely perform the movement with. Because I don't know many people who at the bottom of the rep have great posture, good bracing, good technique. Like you're just in a more vulnerable position. So you're probably not going to be using as heavy weight and those kind of things. Um,
Yeah.
but you can still do lunges, you can still do step ups with that. So there's a lot of other options that that you can do that will work pretty well with
Step
like
up
single
with
legs, unilateral stuff even.
step
Hit
ups with
hit
a
me.
cable, man. It I love them. I absolutely love them.
And all you need is a bench and or a box. And those plyo boxes aren't expensive. You can get the wooden ones, you can get the soft ones, and you just turn it on a different side. It's going to be a different height, so that it's going to provide multiple different options for you there. So that can be nice. And again, something that doesn't take up a ton of space, if that's something that's like a concern or something you need to be paying attention with your setup. Um, step ups are great, and they're also great. Like squats and step ups and lunges. Like I know we talk about hip thrusts a lot for bikini and glute growth stuff. I love hip thrusts. Don't get me wrong; it's not necessary. You can squat your butt to be huge. You can lunge and step up your butt to be all cakey. So there's not like one way to do it, and that's the nice stuff that like it forces you to be a little bit more creative in terms of, okay, cool. I'm going to be limited, but what can I do to work around that to still add variety and kind of like keep things fresh enough for when, if this is what I'm working with or when I'm working with this.
I gotta be honest. I love the challenge of programming for home gyms because I even go as far as to say, hey, just a quick like 20-second tour of your home gym. So I also have an idea of the space that you're working with.
Yep.
Because if that makes a big difference on am I programming walking lunges or stationary lunges? It can make a big difference on like, hey, are
For
do we
sure.
actually have the ceiling height to do overhead presses if you're standing? Because
Yeah.
I don't usually like seated barbell overhead press. I mean, unless someone's like, "Yeah, no, I like it better." Okay, cool. Otherwise, I'll almost always go to if we're seated, let's stick with dumbbells. If we're doing barbell, let's try to be standing.
So I can dig that. Sometimes, in normally, what I try and tell people is it's probably not as big of a deal if we have to do stationary lunges versus walking lunges, right? Or you know, there are ways that we can tweak a lot of those movements to maybe be a little bit more quad focus or a little bit more glute focus, depending on like how much forward travel we want with the knee, where we focus on what part of the foot we're pushing through and creating like pressure in, right, to do the movement. But it can make a big difference in terms of how I feel about it because some people, maybe I want to fucking have my garage door open and I want to walk down to the street with my dumbbells or my barbell and show off all the neighbors about how much better shape and how much stronger I am than them. You know, I want to have my neighborhood eeping and be like, "Bruh,"
Establish
like,
dominance.
right? And maybe that makes me feel it, or maybe it's just I get a little bit of sunlight on my skin there, right? Um, those kind of things versus, oh, I'm just stuck. The garage door is closed. It feels stuffier. Like those are all simple little things that can make a really big difference.
That actually leads into another good thing is the environment of the gym versus the environment of being at home. And it can even be seasonal. Like in the winter, if you live in a harsh climate, you've got that garage door closed, it can feel really, really tiny. And some people, that's not a problem. Some people are like, yep, give me my cave. But if you're like sunshine, butterfly, rainbows, you want the garage door open, feel the sun on your face, right? That can be a bit of a detriment. And that's why I like having some type of a commercial gym that I still belong to, because also sometimes you just need a change of pace or like working from home. Sometimes I just need to get out of the house. Now,
That's
if
a big one for me because there are plenty of days, and I know even before having the home gym set up, there are plenty of days where I'm just like, you know what? I'm not fucking leaving the house today. I'm not fucking going anywhere. Wolf of Wall Street wise, we're not fucking leaving. It's like I could have worked out, but I just had some other stuff to do that maybe like took precedent and priority. And like, there are a lot of days where I'm like, I realize If I don't fucking go out and go to the gym, I don't leave the house.
Dude, there have been weeks where because Nikki takes the kids to school, there have been full on weeks, like, during the spring and the fall, I was walking to the Anytime Fitness that we used to live next to before we moved. So, I would walk, it was like a 15-minute walk to get there, 15-minute walk back. I'd rack up my steps, plus there's cardio outside. So, it was like the best of both worlds. Well, it came a point where I hadn't started my Jeep in, like, 2 weeks, and I went to start it and the battery
Woof.
was dead.
Woof.
And, like, 6 months later, in the fall, I did the exact same thing. I was like, "I'm just gonna walk to the gym. Here I go." And then I went to start my Jeep, and because I hadn't been anywhere in so long,
So
dead battery.
so here's the nice part about it. If it's in the garage, you can just put it on a battery tender and not have to worry about it next time. If it's outside, no.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got jump packs and all that stuff. So wasn't a big deal, but it's still one of those, like, mild inconveniences whenever you're trying to leave the house to go be somewhere on time.
I was
That's
woken up for that exact reason at like 5 a.m. today because the missus had clinical. So she's up, she wakes up at 4:30 and she's out of the house by like 5:30 at the latest. And so she wakes me up. She's like, my car's not starting. It's like, this fucking car. I will never have another Nissan in this house. Fucking ever. Period. I've had a bad enough experience with her car. But like that shit sucks because she's now stressed out and freaking out. Like, how am I gonna get there? Blah blah blah. I'm like, it's okay. Like, we'll get you there, right? But it's just a bitch, you
yeah.
know.
So I also love that you can put your personality into a home gym. Like, are you planning on doing any, like, cool wall art or lights or anything?
So right now, what's been in my garage forever is I have an old school framed Easy Rider poster from the movie from back like because I used to ride and I have my bikes. I rode sports bikes, whatever. I fucking love that shit. Um, there isn't a lot of room in my garage for wall space around that functional trainer where you'll see it. But I do want to get like a banner of my logo to kind of put maybe at the bottom behind the rack. So you have that on there. And I do want to use it as a space for content as well. So I'm probably going to look at like LED lighting maybe or like different colored lighting that I can get to match like my logo colors probably. So it's just a little bit more visually appealing for content. Because
Have you
the more that that stuff's in line, the more you wanna do that stuff, right? The more you wanna take part in it and actually put the time into it.
I was gonna say, if you haven't looked into it, the, like, octagon LED lights that go on the ceiling, most of the time your garage door opener is on a plug in the ceiling and you have an extra outlet
Mine
there
is,
that
yeah.
you can plug into. Those are pretty easy to install. Number 2, you can get them where you can just plug it in like that. And then they have a remote control so you can just on off it. But it actually
So, you'll have to send me a link.
puts out a crap ton of overhead light, so it makes filming really good. And then, of course, if you were to do, like, any other cool stuff on the walls, like, our plan is we're gonna paint the walls black like every other home gym's been doing, but it's nice that you can kind of put some of your personality in there. Like, I used to have the lightning flag in mine, or I
Yeah, I
had,
remember that.
I had a couple of banners that I would put up from time to time. I'd switch it out based off of, like, sports or whatever.
So, my friend Dustin made the best fucking banner I've ever seen in my life, and I wish I could share it with everybody. And I didn't get it. It was a white elephant gift exchange thing, and my buddy Jared got it, and I've been butthurt about it ever since. But literally every single one of the guys in our friends group, he photoshopped our face onto like a professional open bodybuilder's body. So it was like fuck. It just said Tabros because it was all the guys that had went on. We did a Tahoe ski trip, and so you just had like each of our heads on this fucking just like wooded out giant bodybuilding shred. It was just the funniest thing you've ever. It was so creative. I'm like, man, like that's what I need in book. I need that kind of book. Um, but yeah, like that shit was. I don't know how you beat that. I really.
Yeah, that's gotta be top of what I've heard.
Yeah, I wish like I was creative about that, but yeah, so but that would be cool. I'm specifically not going to paint my garage black because one, then I'm gonna have to fucking repaint it again when I want to sell it probably. Not doing that. And two, I like being a little different. I like being a little, I like I said, you'll have to send me a link for that overhead light though, because that that would be super doable and reasonable. And I do have a plug in the ceiling for the garage door opener. I actually had to get a secondary outlet installed because I only had 2 out like 2 1 outlet with 2 plugs in it in the entirety of the garage.
Ooh,
So I just had an electrician come in and run a second one right off of the breaker panel. Easy stuff, straightforward, really. So, but yeah, I mean, because that's part of it too, right? Like you want to be in there.
hugely. If you look at your garage gym or your home gym space, let's call it that, and it stresses you out. I had a client that she spent probably a solid like 4 grand on like she bought a combo functional trainer with a rack from Rep Fitness. She bought that. She bought the bench. She bought some plates, and she also got a hip thrust machine. But she put it in her home office, and her
Well, yeah.
problem was she couldn't get the mental disconnect of work.
That was always my concern. It's not like the work, but like the home. Like, oh, I'm at home, so I like to fuck off and relax here. My office is like a separate space. Like, yes, I have my music stuff up here, so sometimes I will, but I turn my shit on when I'm in here to work. Because that's the thing too. Like, oh, am I going to be able to push myself and do what I want? And this will be different, but depending on what your goal is. If you're just trying to stay healthy and fit, you don't have to push yourself crazy hard. Great, it's probably easy. But for me, I still want to get like a bodybuilder workout in my garage gym. So like the feng shui, the vibe, it's important. Like, I need to be able so, like, do I have a little Alexa in there that I can play music on? Fucking best bet, I do. Why? Because now I can record my shit too and have that on there. Or I can stop it and still record myself and not have background music. You know what I mean? But if I'm just sending, like, a video of a lift to my coach, background music doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to interrupt my music there now either. I can have my dogs in the garage if I want them. I probably don't because they're always trying to be on top of me and in the way.
Yeah.
But I could if I like Locke is chill as fuck, he would be fine.
I was gonna say, I know my experience was Cass, best dog in the world. She would literally just come out there, lay down. Bear, the beagle, he would eventually lay down, but Maggie, I mean, she just sniff all over the damn place. I couldn't have her out there. So I loved having Cass in the garage gym because it also just added like a little extra sense of joy of like, there's my big girl, there's my girl. Like after a set, just like, woo, yeah, and just like love on cast. That was awesome. I loved it. It was a lot of really good memories. Now the other thing that I'll say, kind of along a similar note, instead of fur babies, children, um, man,
But yeah, I don't have any skin babies.
I find that I have to get my workout done, like my serious workouts. I have 3 serious workouts and I have 1 just kind of fun workout. My serious workouts that I'm doing overhead press, I'm doing lunges, I'm doing bench press. I cannot do those if the kids are home because they want to see and then it's I want to do. And I'm not about to break
I'd
down my
say
entire setup.
little hands tend to get into places they don't need to be too.
Yeah.
So like safety concerns there also.
Right. Especially with a functional trainer, because I remember like I had my headphones on because I was working out early and I wasn't like the way I was turned on the functional trainer, I couldn't see that my mother-in-law had come out and she'd let Ellie outside. Ellie was about 2, and out of the
Yeah.
corner of my hand, out of the corner of my eye, right as I'm about to finish it, I see Ellie is super close to the stack, and it's a good thing I looked because she had her hand right there, just kind of balancing herself because 2 years old. And I'm like, oh crap. I am about toasted on these tricep pull downs. So
And
that
I'm
was
about to toast my child's hand.
yeah. So that
Yeah,
wasn't
not
good.
good.
That was like from a safety perspective, just young Ellie, get away. Like it scared the crap out of her. But I'd rather
Yeah.
scare the crap out of her instead of smash her entire hand.
For 100%. So, you do have to worry about those things too, but again, you have all of those kinds of options when you have your home gym. The other thing is typically, I'm not gonna be working in there with my wife. It is a one-person show for us in that garage. So, I'm not waiting on equipment, I'm not waiting on anything, like, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want, I'm doing it in the order I want, and with as much rest as I want in between. Like I said, I think for me, for the big thing is if you have all the extra space, like you had it at the prior, and possibly like what you will have at this house, depending on what you choose to do, you can be very, very, I think, I can't think of the word, but you can be a lot more aggressive with the space that stuff takes. If you
You
don't
can go
have
more
that,
WAP.
for sure. If you don't have that, you're probably going to spend a little bit more money to make sure that everything is compact and works with, but you also have to make sure that what you're getting is going to attach to your rack because not all racks have the same width of the holes in the racks either. And so you have to make sure that it's going to fit what you have, that it's going to attach appropriately and correctly. Otherwise, because guess what? Most of this stuff comes not put together. So you're gonna order it, you're gonna buy it, you're gonna pay for it, it's gonna get shipped, you're gonna wait, you're gonna put it together, you're gonna try and put it on your rack, and then it's not gonna work. And then you're gonna be super butthurt about it. I know I would be. Um,
Yep. I ordered a set of J cups. That was the Elite FTS rack came with the J cups, but I wanted the rollers for the bar so you can easily just slide and adjust it from side to
oh yeah, I
side.
did nice.
So I got those, plus they're made out of UHMW, so they're not going to scratch up a nice barbell like what I had. And the set that I ordered, because Elite FTS didn't have them, the set I ordered from Rogue, I think it was Rogue,
Yeah.
the whole spacing was wrong. And it just barely wouldn't clear. Now, again, good thing about having a home gym is if you've also got tools, you can get creative. So I took a drill, I took a little bit of spray water and just reamed out that hole a little bit more. But again, you've got to sometimes be willing to be creative. But one thing that that we're doing with this build this time around is kind of meeting in the middle of our last two setups. Like if you remember, I
'Cause
had
I don't think
dumbbells.
Nikki would want the full setup like what you would typically had in the past or at the last house or what you would I feel like you would go towards. I feel like Nikki's probably gonna want something that's more functional trainer-esque, has a lot of versatility, but not a ton of excess to it. It's not a bunch of different things all over the place. I can just set this up. Whereas you're like, I would think, I like all the extra things and this thing specifically for this or these 2 movements and like, so I think that makes sense, but
Yeah,
I feel like that's pretty normal for most, couples.
like I said, we're looking at it's a combo functional trainer with the Smith machine. Um, we're also looking at a. I'm just not willing to spend $900 on the bench with the leg extension, leg curl attachment.
I'm
Like,
having a hard time with it too, I feel you, man. I
so,
feel like they'll probably eventually get me, but Imma
dude,
fight it for a bit.
if you keep your eyes out, like you can find the combos that are like good, solid brands. I think I got mine for like $1,000 shipped to my door, my last one at the last house. And what I loved about that was it wasn't just combo leg extension and like seated leg curl. It did both seated leg curl and laying leg curl, and I could lean back for the leg extension on it too. Plus, it had a weight stack that went up to 300 pounds.
The Titan one they have a really nice one that adds on to your rack that's 400-ish
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
leg curl and leg extension, but it's plate loaded still.
It's a pain
Meh.
in the ass to set up. I had a buddy who had it because now you're having to like the way you gotta angle it into the rack, and then you've got to lock it and secure it in place. You gotta have it at just the right height. Otherwise, it's like you're trying to kinda jump up in there and like the
Yeah.
difference that an inch can make. But psh, um, can be amazing.
So I will say this also though, I do think a lot of the plate loaded ones you probably can use with a cable attachment still too, just like use some chain and put it around.
Yes.
Like, so I do think that there's a lot of other options that will probably suffice. Again, like you said, you just gotta be a little janky with it and be willing to kind of work in some things that maybe aren't quite intended, quote
And
unquote,
a
things
lo
that you would never do in a commercial gym because of liability reasons.
Yeah, and a lot of the plate loaded ones also, like, bottom 50% of the move is pretty much dead whenever you're
Yeah.
doing an
Hate it.
extension, so
Hate it.
I what I found was there's plate loaded ones now, like, actually Gronk Fitness, I think, like the Gronkowski brothers were the first ones to add this on, where they actually attached a cable to the to where you load your weights on, and that takes out that resistance at the very, very
Yeah,
bottom.
the
So
slack
one of
from where that's the
the
gravity is
pendulum.
doing its thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
So
lot of them also like, there are the ones that make it where you have the little selector pins, and so and so it's like the one you had, right? And so you can push that back to where when the weight is down at its bottom, you're pushing it back, so now you do have the weight at the stretched portion of, like, a leg extension too.
yeah. You remember my client slash buddy Chris Stanton?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I
so
don't think I ever met him, but I remember about him, yeah.
yeah, so he lives about 30 minutes away from me now, and I've actually tried out his extension curl combo, and it was pretty sweet for like $300.
Nice.
Really good, and same thing. It did everything that my last one did, but instead of being selectorized, it's plate loaded. So like we're going with that, but a big space saver for us that I will probably never do single dumbbells again on a rack just for the sake of saving space. I loved having the ability to just boom, boom, boom for drop sets, but now that I've had the snowed adjustable dumbbells where you literally just twist a dial and in the cradle it goes from 10 to 20 to all the way up
Yeah.
to 80. I I love it. It saves so much space. It still is time saving overall. That's a big one for us.
So, unfortunately for my dumbass, I have become pretty strong on my dumbbell presses and chest work. So, I need something that at least goes up to 80. And that's where, like, the selectable dumbbells start getting expensive because we have up to 25s already for the power blocks. I don't love the power blocks for a lot of movements because your hands are still inside, like that squareness. So, there are other adjustable dumbbells where that's not the case. And I'm not in love with the idea of, like, plastic components for the adjustability on that. I would
That's why I went with Snowed is because it's not plastic and it's actually designed to be worked on if something ever happens, but they
Right,
advertise and market them as the droppable dumbbells.
yeah. So, something like that, I would very much like, and I will probably get. I want adjustable dumbbells. I'm not worried about the length of them, that doesn't bother me, you know? Um, I'm like, the girth is more about what I would be concerned with, I guess. Um, so but these are all things like, again,
True Lap.
it
I was looking up, I was trying to think of the recommendation. Look up the True Laps. I think
let
that's exactly what
send
you need.
me a link. No, I don't Google. I
I'm
Google wild shit. This is not crazy enough for my fucking search history, okay?
Yeah. The dude, the True Lap dumbbells are phenomenal. The only reason why I didn't go with them was just because of the shipping times on it, and I was like, "I need something, like, now." At the time, I think it was like a 3 or 4 week back order because it was all during, like, a lot of the metal supply shortages whenever I got those, but
Yeah.
True Laps, I think that fits your need.
Yeah, so 8.5 to 92 pounds per dumbbell, and it's about 800 for the pair, which is still a lot of money, but
It is,
you
but
can use them for shoulder pressing, you can use them for butt. So for me, it's really just about like, because then I'm definitely having to buy a bench on top of that. So, and again, this is where they do look awesome. So they definitely would match what probably I would want from them. Uh, like 100%, yeah.
Look, now a little bit cheaper option, but it's not as quick adjust style, but still fairly quick adjust. It's like a semi quick adjust is the Eisen links, which you can get on Amazon, the 80-pound pair for I think like $360.
Yeah, and here is the one thing you have to recognize, a lot of these companies build shipping into their pricing, so it will be a little bit maybe more expensive up front, but you're not paying 60 to $150 for the shipping costs that something heavy like that would normally be. Um, these actually I'm in agreement, these look great. I may pull the trigger on them, but then I definitely have to get a and the only reason why is because I like dumbbells better for maybe RDLs or some other things where even lunging movements where the cables might be tough with that. Something like this would allow me to get a pretty full leg workout, albeit maybe not the way I would absolutely love it. But with Bulgarians, with lunges, reverse lunges, curtsies, those kind of things, step ups, it would pretty much cover all
If
bases.
if you get the any type of adjustable dumbbell, I'll tell you this little like one of the most underrated things I've ever seen. I'm not a big fan of the fitness brand Yes for All on Amazon. Like it's cheap, it's mass produced, it's going to eventually break on pretty much anything that you buy from them. But I bought their adjustable dumbbell stand because instead of being straight on like most of them, like Titan Power Block, it's actually angled out so you can walk in, and it's so much nicer being able to rack and unrack within your center of mass instead of right in front of you.
Fuck that. I was a deadlift specialist.
You say that until you're pulling 100 or you're pulling 80 pounds right in front of you.
Bro, I have pulled 617 before. 80 pounds I can deal with. 200 I can deal with. All
Telling
right,
you,
so
man.
that's our let's end it there because we're just over an hour. If y'all have questions, ask Phil. I don't know shit.